For thousands of years, ancient traditions have revered the early hours before dawn, what Ayurvedic texts call Brahma Muhurta, as a time for deep spiritual clarity. Today, internet influencers have repackaged that quiet time into a rigid, non-negotiable rule for becoming a billionaire. The $25 billion self-help industry thrives on a very specific kind of fear. When a best-selling author sits on a daytime talk show and tells you that every successful person is already hard at work while you're asleep, it creates an intense feeling that you are actively losing out to the competition. So, you buy the book. Riding a wave of pure motivation, you set your alarm for 5 a.m., grind through the routine for about a week, and then inevitably hit a wall. In an attempt to conquer the morning, you end up severely disrupting your natural body clock. By 2 p.m., you're a sluggish, sleep-deprived zombie, struggling to get through the rest of the workday. When we fail to maintain this habit, we usually blame our own lack of willpower. But maybe the problem isn't our discipline. Maybe this specific protocol is simply incompatible with the biological needs of the average person. To understand how this system is supposed to work, we have to look at its source, Robin Sharma's book, The 5 a.m. Club, set on an isolated tropical island. The 20-20-20 formula divides your first hour into 3 equal blocks: moving, reflecting, and growing. Intense movement decreases cortisol and releases dopamine, priming the prefrontal cortex. Then you use this heightened state to reflect and grow, meditating and studying before daily distractions begin. This combination leverages a biological state called transient hypofrontality. The early hour and the physical exertion temporarily quiet the brain's inner critic, creating a rare window for deep, uninterrupted focus. When executed correctly, the 20-20-20 formula uses the specific window when your brain is most alert and least distracted to stack habits that compound over time. But implementing that blueprint requires some simple, unforgiving math. Medical science generally recommends around 8 hours of sleep for healthy function. To wake up at 5 a.m. and hit that target, you have to be fast asleep by 9:30 p.m. That bedtime assumes you have total control over your evenings. If you are parenting a toddler, working a late-night shift, commuting in evening traffic, or relaxing with your family, a strict 9:30 curfew is physically impossible. This chart compares cognitive performance on 8 hours of sleep versus 5. Forcing a 5 a.m. wake-up on a late schedule replaces optimization with severe sleep deprivation. This chronic exhaustion shatters your focus, crumbles emotional resilience, and destroys the exact benefits the routine promised. Taking a rigid system designed for individuals with 0 evening obligations and forcing it onto a chaotic modern life turns a tool for biological optimization into a recipe for cognitive decline. The actual advantage described in these routines has less to do with the number 5 and more to do with the structural protection of the first waking hour from the rest of the world. That's why alternatives like Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning often prove much more sustainable. His framework focuses on flexibility and recovery, acknowledging that life doesn't always go according to plan. This adaptable approach works whether your first hour begins at 7:30 a.m. or noon. If you oversleep and only have 6 minutes before you need to rush out the door, you can condense the entire routine into a 1-minute block for each step. To actually implement this, you have to respect your circadian rhythm. Instead of shocking your system with a massive time jump, you roll your alarm back in gentle 15-minute increments every few days until you reach your target. Once you're awake, there is one non-negotiable rule. You must not look at a screen or check a single message during that protected window. The second you invite social media or work emails into your morning, you shift from a state of proactive focus to reactive stress. With that time secured, you can customize the hour to serve your own goals. You can focus on your mindset by reading, your heart set through journaling, your health set with movement, or your soul set through quiet meditation. Intentionality, or irada, matters more than the specific number on the clock. By taking ownership of your first hour of consciousness, you set the trajectory for the rest of your day, long before the world asks anything of you.